You're just getting started. Senator Reynolds.
Thank you very much, Acting Deputy President. Well, I listened with great interest to Senator Sheldon speaking on this, and even though this is about cost of living, real wages, interest rate hikes, he couldn't utter a single one of those words. And let me share with those opposite what in 18 months they have done to this nation's economy and to the workers he professes to be so supportive of. Real household gross disposable income per capita per Australians is back this year 5.1%. It has gone backwards over 5%, and that is the worst performance by this hopefully one-term government, because people are not going to be able to afford this mob too much longer. But it's the worst in the OECD. That is hardly something. When we left government, pretty much every OECD indicator post-COVID was at the top or almost at the top. And in 18 months, you've managed to plunge workers into a cost of living crisis. So let us talk about on this side what those opposites cannot bear to mention anymore. What have they done? As Senator Hughes said, the Prime Minister laid out his goals just before the last election. He said Australia would be hit with a triple whammy of skyrocketing costs, essentials, falling real wages and an interest rate hikes. Well, guess what? That has all come true under this Prime Minister. If only he spent less time worrying about truth and treaty T-shirts and jetting overseas and his dance moves in the Pacific. If only he was here to look after and to oversee his Treasurer, who has absolutely sending this country backwards at a rapid rate of knots. So what won't those opposite talk about? So let's talk about some of the facts. Interest rates under this Labor government are now their highest since 2011, which unsurprisingly was, guess who was in government at that point? Those opposite were in government. And a family with a $750,000 mortgage under this government is now $24,000 a year worse off with extra mortgage repayments. That's an extra $1,000 per fortnight. Hundreds of thousands of families now have to find. And if that's not bad enough for families, the price of food is up 8.2%. The price of fuel, 7.2% this quarter alone. The cost of electricity is up 18.2% and gas 28%. And under this mob, productivity has fallen by 6.5% in less than 15 months. And as those on this side of the chamber know, when productivity falls, inflation goes up and put pressures on the economy, and, yes, interest rates keep rising. And what we've seen today is more shame on those opposite. The Rental Affordability Index from the National Shelter and SGC Economics shows renters in each capital city are worse off than they were before the pandemic. And that is appalling. So not only can Australians not find a house to rent anymore, many people cannot afford their mortgage and are increasingly making decisions about, do they fill the car up, do they pay their insurance, or do they go without food, or do they give up on their mortgage? And that is all under the Labor Party in less than 18 months. So as a senator for Western Australia, I'm here with two great Western Australian Senate colleagues, and we have been going out and we've been talking to West Australians, and I can tell you what, as Senator O'Sullivan has said, they are hurting. We visited Food Bank, and Food Bank has had a 50% increase in people coming on a daily basis. The majority of them are double-income families who cannot afford their mortgage and food anymore. We've heard from Anglicare at the recent cost of living inquiry. And, for example, in January the service received 3,752 calls for support, which is a 52% increase in one single month. People are hurting under this mob, And not only in Western Australia has the Prime Minister bungled and left 50 people who've got murderers and rapists, let them out on release in Perth, but they cannot